It's Poppin' Peeps, T-Money up in the house. Here to do a quick review for Body Bags. This is review number 3 for me. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to Derek, DBougie86, for covering for me last week while I was away in Indianapolis. So thanks to you, bro. It was a great review. And yeah, I appreciate you covering for me. So this week, the movie that I have to review is one from Code Red. It's not really about the releasing company, though. It's about the movie. And it's from 1975. A little film called The Love Butcher. This movie's great. I mean, I really like it. It's basically about it's kind of like a character study about I don't know if he's bipolar, serial killer, psychotic. This gardener who has a split personality. Basically, he thinks that he's two different people, and on the outside he plays like a crippled gardener who is very weak. He's very nerdy, geeky. He's kind of a pushover. He's crippled. He's ugly. Just kind of like a reject in all kinds of ways. And I think it's California. The film is really, well, we'll get into that a little bit later on in the review. But so basically, Caleb is this crippled gardener, and then his alter personality is Lester, who is kind of like the complete antithesis, or the complete opposite of Caleb. He is strong, he's manly, he's good looking, he's a ladies' man, and so throughout the film there's a lot of mirror shots where you see Caleb, actually Lester speaking to Caleb. It's complicated. In a mirror, he's speaking to himself as Lester, but he's looking over at Caleb, and he's kind of like condescending and like, "You're weak. You're a loser. You're a." It's almost like he gets off ragging on the weak personality that is Caleb. It's complicated, but it's basically about, a psychopath who has a split personality, and so Lester, the manly, strong version of Caleb, is actually a serial killer, and what he does is he uses Caleb, the character as the gardener, to kind of set up situations a lot in the movie with women. Like, he'll be gardening at some rich, classy woman's house. Well, actually, the women are all really trashy, and I don't want to say they're sluts, but they kind of are. So like, he'll be gardening, and then he'll be talking to one of the women, whose house he's gardening at, or whatever, and they'll say, like, in one scene, she's like, "Hey Caleb, do you know where I could find I think it's what is it? A good what do you call it? Fuck. A good air conditioning unit." Sorry. I'm tired, guys. "Do you know where I could find a good air conditioning unit?" And then Caleb says, "Well, as a matter of fact, ma'am." And Caleb, the cripple, the gardener that he plays, is kind of like he talks like he's like Gimp, so he's got an arm like this. If you guys haven't seen the movie, say, "Yeah, ma'am, I do know of a man, a good man, a really good man." So it's like kind of like, it's like, I think it's California, but it sounds like he's from North Carolina or something. He's got a southern accent. So anyway, so then he says, "Yes, I do know where you can get. I know just the man who can get you the perfect air conditioning unit." And then later on, Lester will show up, and as the man who supposedly has this air conditioning unit, and then persuades the women into having a quickie. They bang, and then he murders them. So that's basically what the film is about. A psychopath with a split personality. One is a serial killer, and one is a nerd. And basically, the serial killer, Lester, gets off on murdering women, and all the women are like slutty California housewives. I don't know why I keep saying California. I'm not sure where the film takes place, but it has that like 70s, really good. Like one of the things that the film does really well, or the atmosphere is like so derivative of 70s, 70s California culture. I mean, kind of upper class Cali culture, like everything from like the interior set designs to the exterior set designs, the garden, and it's really cool. So if you want to get like a good feel for what life was like in the 70s in California, or in these kind of like suburban neighborhoods of middle class America, upper middle class America, it's great for that. I mean, really. Sorry, I didn't even mention. So the film is directed by Don Jones, who I believe did, shit. Sorry, guys. I think it's outside of the room. I want to say he did The Forest. I know he did Schoolgirls in Chains. I want to say he did The Forest. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I don't think it was Don't Go in the Woods Alone. Yeah, I think it was The Forest. But anyway, so of all the films I've seen, Schoolgirls in Chains, The Forest, if it is The Forest, this is my favorite film by far, The Love Butcher, that he's done that I've seen. Directed by John Jones, and Mikel Angel is also credited as director. It stars Eric Stern, Kay Near, Jeremiah Beecher, Richard Kennedy, and Robin Sherwood. And actually, there's a scene in the movie with Lester, and actually, so Caleb, Lester, whatever. It's complicated because some of the men, sometimes he goes out disguised as Lester. He calls himself Lester when he's going to kill. But other times he goes as like Bill, or this one scene with Robin Sherwood. He kind of acts like he's like some like a Mexican or whatever. He's like, oh, you know, you dig? I got some music, man. You want to listen to the music? I don't really know how to describe it, but he plays like this Mexican dude, and so basically what I'm trying to say is when he goes out and meets these women, he plays like various different characters, so it's like multiple, but that when he does that, he's going to kill, and he is portraying the character of Lester, not Caleb, obviously, because he's going to kill. But there's a really good scene with the actress Robin Sherwood, where he plays this Mexican, and he goes to her house, and he tries to, you know, persuade her into fucking, basically, by like playing. He's like a record salesman, and he's got all these groovy tunes, and it's awesome. It's a great scene. I highly recommend it. I mean, it's definitely one of the standout scenes, but it's actually the only one where too he gets turned down, because normally the women are wooed by Lester or whoever he's playing in that role, and they bang him and he gets his way. But this particular moment or scene, the woman's like, "Whoa, way too fast, man, leave." And then he like freaks out. When he gets home, he goes into Lester, full-blown Lester mode, and tweaks out in the mirror, and it's funny. I'm trying to think of like another serial killer movie that plays like somebody with a split personality, because there's a lot of scenes where you see him talking to Caleb as Lester, or Caleb talking to Lester, vice versa. Blah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's good. Eric Stern does an amazing job. That's the highlight of the film, is his acting. And also, like when I first saw this movie, I was amazed by like the contrast in the difference between the gardener, Caleb, and the ladies' man Lester. It's amazing. Like his portrayals are so different, but yet if you look closely, you can tell it's obviously the same person, the same actor. But he does a really good job playing two completely different roles, or personalities rather, in image and in acting or whatever. But yeah, Eric Stern, amazing. Definitely the highlight of the film is his acting right there. And I wrote, Caleb is portrayed as a kind of an ugly, crippled, loser, loner, gentle, over-polite, and nerdy type character. And his alter personality Lester, who's a smooth-talking womanizer who brutally murders women after quick fucks, plural. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I don't really know what else to say. Film's from 1975. It's kind of like a proto-slasher type film. The kills are, a lot of them involve like either gardening tools or knives. There's a lot of stabbing deaths. There's one drowning scene, which is actually pretty brutal. It's pretty good. It goes on for a while. He just like hucks it, like while the girl's underwater. He just like, and it also shows like his physique as Lester, and he hucks into the pool while she's underwater, and then grabs her and kind of drowns her with the hose. He sticks a hose in her mouth. It's pretty brutal. Good scene for sure. So yeah, I mean, proto-slasher, the kills are decent, they're not overly graphic, but it's more of a character study, it's more about, you know, the actual dialogue and the character than it is the gore and shit like that. It's not really that type of film. But there is gore, I mean, there's blood, you know, there's a lot of brutal stabbings, but it's more like in the way he acts after the stabbing, like he like, there's one scene where he's stabbing this woman. He's like, ah, 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 and then it shows like afterwards he lets out this huge squeal, and like you can just see like how he does a really good job like portraying how he gets off of murdering people, like the thrill of the murder or whatever. Like it's good. Good stuff here. Good stuff here. So as far as availability, there's a Code Red DVD. There's also a bootleg from I think 2011. But why would you get that if you could get either the DVD or the Blu-ray now? Code Red released this. Bare bones, I don't even think there's a trailer. There is a commentary with R.A. the Rugged Man and I think one of the producers or something of the film. But it's bare bones as always. The dialogue, as far as this release goes, the film is kind of dubbed. Well, it's not dubbed, but the voice tracking or whatever is a little off. But as far as the print goes, it's great. I mean, this looks actually pretty good, surprisingly, for a Blu-ray, or I mean the transfer. I think Bill had a good copy of the film to work with anyway, so I don't think it's really to his credit. But it's good. I mean, it looks good. So, or maybe he did. I don't know. I just can't imagine he put a lot of time into it. But I mean, maybe, because this is definitely a standout Code Red release for me, at least. I think this is a good film. Definitely a gem for unknown proto-slashers. Serial killer. I don't really look at it as a slasher, more of a serial killer character study in the vein of like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, or American Psycho, maybe even. There's a lot of films I can't really think right now. But alright, so I'm going over. I'm on at 13 minutes now, so I'm about done here. That is The Love Butcher. Check it out if you haven't seen it, guys. Highly recommend it. I'd probably give it a 6.5 or a 7, probably a 7. Maybe even a 7.5 out of 10. I like this film. I think it's really good. Pleasant surprise. I had it for like a year and a half before I finally watched it, but I've seen it a few times now, so. That is The Love Butcher. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next Wednesday, alright? Peace.